Today I'd like to show you how to build a small koi pond. Here is an upper pond, and as you can see, it's just basically a concrete pour with brickwork around it. If you do that, make sure you treat the concrete so it doesn't affect the fish. One of the things about ponds, there's a million ways to build them, but a lot of them have a poor filter system. This is a homemade filter. It's called a Trickle filter. And it's basically built out of stuff you can find at any Walmart. These shells makes it really easy to clean. You just pull out the shelf, replace the floss. As you can see, there's just a little culvert in the top to spread the water out so it doesn't drill a hole through the stuff. And on the bottom, there's a plastic rib stuff that you can buy that gives you more surface area so it doesn't plug up so fast. So anyway, that's it for cleaning your filter. You pull that out, change the filter floss, and you're done. Now down below, each of these other ones is full of lava rock. You could use bio balls. And the nice thing about this is you can take one tray out, clean it, and put it back. You don't ever clean them all at once because then you kill all your bacteria. And after you do that, you just turn it back on. And away goes the water. And that's it for filter system. Costs I think about $200 for the parts versus like $1,500 for a fancy thing. And the nice thing about trickle filters is they take the oxygen out of the air instead of out of your water, which raises the oxygen content in it. And then you can see the water starting to go over the filter. Let's go down to the bottom and I'll show you the bottom pond. The higher oxygen content it gives your fish makes it much healthier. They get sick, they get better instead of all the chemicals. So the other thing you'll notice out of the trickle filter is the water is exceptionally clear. If you're trying to raise koi, probably could be a little cloudier, but you see so many ponds out there and they're just full of algae. Things to remember is 60% of your pond should be shaded with a tree or something, and the rest of it makes a big difference anyway if it's shaded slightly. And now you can see the waterfall is starting up, and the water is slowly coming down. And this is just a small 800-gallon pond with about an 800-gallon-an-hour pump, so it turns over the water about once an hour. I've been in here today, so the fish might be a little scared, but I'm thinking we should be able to get some koi to come up. Sit back and see what comes up. But one of the nice things about having a trickle filter is it's much easier to clean. And as you can see, this has just been stirred up, by the way. The water is still much clearer than most. And you can also have a lot more fish. There they come. Now this is koi, but you can have goldfish or whatever you want in there. There's actually one goldfish in there. It's snuck in. If the water's really clear, they don't tend to breed as much. I think the babies, when they're small, they eat a lot of algae and stuff, and it also covers them from being eaten by fish and stuff. The koi don't normally eat their babies. Goldfish do, but koi tend to leave them alone. The other thing, if I look upwards, I don't know if you can see it, but above me, there's a bunch of downrigger wire. I can't really see it too much, but it keeps out the blue herrings. Anyway, this is just a small 800-gallon, roughly 800-gallon upper-lower pond with a waterfall. And the waterfall is just rocks and mortar, and then it's sprayed with a chemical that keeps the mortar from getting waterlogged. And again, you have to check to make sure that it's compatible with fish. Anyway, we'll throw a little food in and see if we can get some fish to come up. It's nice when you can sit back and see your fish. Anyway, this pond itself is just a liner built up, and then rocks are laid along the edge of the liner and watered in. One of the things you want to watch is if you're going to do rework in your pond, which you probably will, to plant with rocks and places for them to hide. And don't wear anything really sharp on your feet. Nothing worse than a pond that leaks. But, as you can see, there's a fair amount of fish in this pond for the size of it, but very few diseases, and if they do get sick, they get better. Rarely do I ever have to add anything. Anyway, this is just a nice little view of an alternative pond without spending a whole lot of money on a filter system, and for my money, it does a much better job than the ones that are in the water. The other thing, if you have a pond about this size, you could put a UV light in, which will also keep down the algae. Anything bigger than this is really not practical, but UV lights do, if the water goes through them fairly fast, it keeps the algae down. If it goes through fairly slow, it also kills off certain types of parasites. Anyway, so there's a nice little BC pond that I spent a little time we're reworking last week, so it's looking fairly decent. Hope you enjoyed my second YouTube video.